What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord, Dr. Professor, Dark Joker, here with another edition of Traditional Fans with Opinions, where I'll give my reviews for whoever I watched, read, or played today. And who are Traditional Fans with Opinions? That is myself, and that is you, the viewers. With all that being said, on with the reviews. Apocalypse Hotel, Episode 12, and full series. So, in this episode, human actually comes back to Earth. Well, that human's first visit to Earth because it's been a few centuries. But basically, this person is sent to survey the Earth, see if it's habitable for humans, because humanity's heard about I guess the hotel, seeing if humans can't live. And when she sees the robot, she's Yacho and Punko, she thinks they're humans, but no, Yacho's like, no, I'm a robot, and Ponko's real, she's a Tanuki. So basically, so the human's very hesitant to take off her life support. Yacho's little doesn't want, first thinks she may not be human because she's so different when she remembers. I mean, it's been a few centuries. And she even does a DNA scan and it shows she's human. And so, and then so basically, during during I guess a survey trip, so basically the virus that threatened humanity has been eliminated from Earth. So I guess one alien guest left something that cleansed the Earth of the virus, and basically the I guess the air is possibly cleaner than it's ever been. And so the human takes off her mask, takes off her suit, but she gets sick. So it's really, I guess, humanity's immune system has gotten very used to not being on Earth, and so just over time, humanity has basically they can't live on Earth just due they've been away from it so long. Their immune systems can't handle it. So kind of if you're used to it, if you're exposed to different types of diseases, it's kind of like an exposure therapy where you're used to some diseases, whereas if some people who may not have been exposed to diseases much, they're not as used, so that's why they get sicker. So basically, it's a similar thing. So any germs, whatever that's on Earth, humanity has not been around those for centuries. So they're especially so someone's their immune systems, the current humans, as far as the show is concerned, their immune system is not good enough to handle that. They haven't built up some form of exposure therapy and natural immunity to deal with those germs or diseases. So that's why the person gets sick, the human gets sick. So she leaves. Yacho recovers from basically she thinks she's broken, but then nothing's broken, so she's concerned. But she so the human leaves, says she'll be back soon. Yacho's like, wait, when? Can you mind when is soon? How many years is that? Why are you humans so stupid? Which unlocks an achievement called Get Stupid, and she gains the ability to whistle. So so yeah, that kind of it's a little and it ends with basically an ad for Earth, for an ad for the hotel. So yeah, so I thought it was a good episode, a nice little way to end the series. I mean, most episodes are pretty standalone for the most part. It's like a guest of the week kind of thing. But yeah, I really liked this episode as far as this whole series is concerned. I thought it was pretty good. It's a decent little series. It's not one I think will be heavily remembered, but I think it's a good series. Decent watch. You know, I enjoyed it. I thought it was funny. It had some good humor, some good character moments. The science fiction stuff was interesting. And yeah, I liked it. That was a very good show. Lego Masters American version, season 5, episode 6. So this one is a Batman themed episode. It finally took them long enough to do it. I mean, Will Arnett, who played Batman in the Lego Batman movie and the Lego Movie 2, you know, he's the host of the American version. So it was about time they did a Batman themed episode. You know, So basically, in this episode, each team has to pick a specific era of Batman and make a like a bat vehicle like themed after it. So you have your Adam West from the '66 show. You had you know Michael Keaton with Batman '89 and Batman Returns. You had the Kevin Conroy with Batman the Animated Series. They didn't bring up Batman Beyond, but Bruce Wayne is Batman. Yeah. So and then you have Dark Knight trilogy, which of course Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises. Some people prefer it's just the first two. And of course, you had the Batman with Robert Pattinson. Well, that's basically about it right now. Well, I mean, yeah, the Peng. Well, I mean, of course, you have Penguin, but Batman didn't appear in Penguin. And yeah, of course, the Lego Batman movie. So yeah, and basically, so the way they, and this was for the Golden Brick. So basically, each team built their vehicles, try to theme it based off to what they were making. Then one thing I noticed with so whenever during the presentations, when like someone said for the Batman it's how it's supposed to be very expressive and all, I'm like, did you judges ever watch the animated series? It's not a big like facial expression type thing. It's a very grounded cartoon. Like the DC animated universe is relatively grounded as far as facial expressions go. It's not a very it's not anime. It's not like like your slapstick comedy shows. No, it is like, DC animated universe was very grounded in how its characters are portrayed, and it is very blocky. But that was also a time period in the '90s. Blocky was kind of like the thing for a lot of animation designs in both the U.S. and Japan. I mean, in the early 2000s. I mean, DC Animated Universe, you know, Dragon Ball, uh, Rave Master. Rave Master was very blocky. But yeah, I was like, please watch the show if you're gonna try to say something like that. At least at least know what you're like. Anyway, that was my biggest criticism of that. So as far as and this was all for the Golden Brick. So yeah, top three, and then you have bottom two. Top three teams were Ben and Michael, Ian Sage, and Anna Luke. Anna and Luke won the challenge along with the Golden Brick. And they built they basically built like it was like a tractor trailer, basically inspired by like I think it was like a grandfather in the family. It was a nice build. And then the bottom two teams were John Justin, Maya, and Jamie. John Justin's like team they had one based off the 1966 TV show. They also were the only ones to not make the Batmobile black. Yeah, it's Batman. As the Lego Movie Fairy put, he only works in black or sometimes very, very dark gray. So yeah, I mean, I was like, okay, at least make it look like it's Batman themed, because it didn't look Batman themed, and their function didn't work. So I was like, yes, the 1966 is a lot more colorful with like the like the way it showed like like the like in comic books, you have like the effects words, like onomatopoeia type stuff. You would see it on the page, and you would see it in the 1966 show. And yes, it was meant to evoke that, and it should evoke that, but it should still look like the Batmobile, look like it's a Batman thing. And yeah, their function at work, and yeah, it failed, and yeah, I agree. They had the worst build out of all of them because it didn't even look like a Batman vehicle. Especially when you're doing a Batman themed thing, a challenge. But yeah, as far as I thought it was a good episode. I mean, as a Batman fan, I really liked it. I liked it. It was funny where like so you had Will Arnett getting a call on the phone, quote, getting a call from Batman, from quote, quote, Batman. He's like, "Hey, I hear you going around telling everyone you're me. Let's be clear here. You're not. You. I'm not the Lego Batman. You are the human actor, me." Like that. That was actually pretty funny. Like that was really funny. So yeah, I really liked this episode. Looking forward to the next one. Well, and that's it. Did y'all like the stuff I reviewed? And if you have your own opinions about all that, you can put all that in the comments. Thank you for watching, and like, subscribe, and all that. And look forward to the next video.